Welcome back. Today I wanted to share with you my most accurate oracle decks. Although I want to say that I always feel, and when I teach this to participants of my workshops, the decks on their own, they do not hold the power of accuracy, or they do not hold the power of prediction or intuition, right? It is we, the readers, who have that power. We have the intuition. Although specific decks or specific visuals or words can help jog our intuition and heighten them. I'm sure it's different for everybody, and I'm sure my selection of the decks that help with accuracy are different from other people's decks, but I know some of them are on other people's lists as well, when it comes to, because I also watch other content creators who use oracle decks, and I'm gonna say the first deck on my list that helps with accuracy is this. It's so strange to think that a deck that is mostly about plants and animals can help jog your intuition so well. I'll show you samples of what it looks like. There's something about its earthiness, I think, and how the animals are depicted. Like, look at this. I'm gonna show you the bear and cedar leadership, right? Like, you wouldn't think that feels but it's quite powerful when you like when this comes up. I always think like the bear is strong, right? It's very hard to overcome a bear, but at the same time we also have that concept of a teddy bear, the softness also in leadership. It just feels quite nuanced that way, the way it's depicted. And so, yes, to me, this is quite helpful when I want to give a very accurate reading. It seems simple, but I tell you, it's not. Maybe because it's also the simplicity that helps jog my intuition, that helps strengthen my intuition. Look at this. This is another card that I love. It says here, the snake and fern starting over. But when you look at how the snake is depicted, it also reminds you of the snake in medicine, right? Nice. Okay, we can go to the next deck if you don't mind. So that's the Woodland Wardens by Jessica Holt. It took me quite a long time to get used to it, and also I think this is one of only 2 or 3 decks that I also read when they're upside down. Like if the card is upside down or appears upside down when I draw them, then I read kind of like the opposite meaning of what is depicted. Okay. The second deck, I would say, that I use quite often, when it comes to I guess you don't want to say predicting, but also like seeing a bit far ahead into the future. Somehow, the Seasons of the Witch Imbolc Oracle deck helps my intuition go into that seeing into the future mode. The artwork is not, I wouldn't say like, it's quite playful, right? But it's also very evocative and so layered, right? There's so many things. Like in this picture, look at the moon, what the girl is doing, how her mirror is not clear, and how her hair is entwined with branches, right? There's so many things that that your intuition can work with the visuals. And so there's so many things your eyes can draw in and interpret, and it really helps my my intuition to awaken and be and really be heightened. Look at this. This is really one of my favorite cards in this deck. It looks quite scary, you know. Weather divination. I trust in what I feel. For what I feel are signs to pay mind due. Look at that. And it's always different. Like when I see this card, it comes up differently for me every single time. Because look, there's power in her words. Like what she's saying, right? And it feels like she's in an altered state, right? She's in an altered state and she's speaking, and the words that are coming out are manifested. Like you can almost read what she's saying. There's also like a bird on top of her. What does that mean to you, right? That changes from person to person. And also, yeah, there's light around her. Yeah, this deck really helps with like readings with divination. Flavor. And like some of them are not even right? Some of them are very, very light-hearted. And then like when you see this card, it says Angelica. You see that this person has so much guidance there. There's guidance from above, guidance in front of her, guidance below her. And so you can say that, you know, whatever they're planning for is divinely guided. No? Also things like that. Right? It really helps my intuition work hard, and it allows me, it helps me go into that like prophecy mode, divination mode. Another one that surprised me, but that is actually quite accurate in its depiction of inner conflict, is this Shadow and Light Oracle. So really, I got this deck for my workshops, like when I do or when I do my retreats. No, because when I saw the samples, I thought they would be really good for reflection and for journaling. But then I also found that when I did readings, wow, they're quite powerful in that, you know, that when you're doing a reading and you can feel that what you're saying, you can do that exercise with this deck. you say both the words and see what feels right, what physically feels true for you. And you know that that's what that person is going through or what that person is hoping for. Like with this, you can say planning and destiny. You can repeat that. And then you can feel in your body if with this person you're reading for, they're more connected to the planning or more connected to the destiny, and how does that play into what they're asking for in the reading, right? Always 2 layers or more. Look at that. So helpful. I love using these. And it really, I was really surprised. I didn't think it was gonna, I really felt in the beginning this was really good for like journaling, for clarifying what the participants were feeling at the moment of the workshop or the retreat. But then it's so helpful with readings as well. Right? And so I didn't expect it, but I reached for this deck a lot, in my readings. Okay, the next would be a new deck. I think this is my newest, and this is the Dark Moon Oracle by Yasmin Boland. Her Moonology decks are also, I should have that in this list. Yeah. They're quite helpful. They're beautiful to use, especially when the reading requires when they're asking for the perfect time, right? When is the perfect time to do this? Or is this the best time to do this? This specific deck, though, I'm still a little scared of using it because it feels like it's so honest. But of course, if you're not familiar with some of the figures, like the dark goddess figures, then that's a little bit of a challenge, because you will have to revert back to the guidebook. But even if you don't refer to the guidebook, just by going into the symbology and the words and how the visuals feel, you can go into a lot. I would say this is accurate because this helps open the door to depth, right? It feels like you really have to go deep. They're very reflective. Like they make you go deep into reflection mode. And so as a reader, well, I like it. I like depth. Look at this beautiful imagery. Wait, hold on. Can you see it clearly? Right? The symbology is very powerful, and it feels confrontational, right? It feels like truth that you might not be 100% ready to see. It's not my style to be brutally honest, right? And so when I use this, I don't think have I used this for reading someone else. I don't think I have yet, but I've used it to read for myself, and it is quite confronting. So I guess this is good for deep introspection. And so another confronting deck that I also have that feels quite accurate when I use it is this. Alana Fairchild's Sacred Rebels Oracle. I think it's an oldie, yeah. But the visuals are so unique. They're very powerful. Whenever participants in my retreats use them, they really get very deep insights. So very accurate, because yeah, your intuition kind of really wakes up to the visuals and to the prompt phrases. Say, releasing allegiances. Number 10. I'll show you some nice samples. Right? She's swimming, but underwater there are birds flying. You can read so much into it. Against the grain. So I feel like this is also quite accurate when I use them. I don't use these very often because this to me is quite also quite confronting. But when I do use them, I will use them with the people I read for, who I've been reading for quite a while, and so that I know how much they can take, right? How much they can take. What else? I want to show you other samples. Look at this. Visions of life beyond death, right? And this is also good for reading other intuitives, actually. This is quite accurate and helpful when you are reading for other intuitives. That's what I found. And I use it for them too. Yeah, because I read for a lot of people who are themselves quite intuitive, right? And they also do the same work that I do. And sometimes they need confirmation. And so this is very, very for the spiritually awakened. And so it has that energy. It has that energy of honesty when it comes to spiritual journey, spiritual path. The next one, I would say, also helps jog my intuition into accuracy is this deck, the Rooted Woman Oracle. You know, I would say that the decks that are very accurate are the ones that are not the easiest to use. I guess it's because they really demand you to use your intuition in a different way. So here are the samples. Right? They demand you to not be lazy about your intuition and not just rely on like set symbology and set prompt words. And so this is one of the decks in the beginning, I didn't use it a lot because I had difficulty kind of reading into them. But the more I used it, the more, wow, the more I felt its accuracy, its ability to help me with being accurate in my readings, accurate in interpreting my intuition. So this is a rather big deck. How many? It's 53 cards. It's a lot. So you're hardly seeing the same cards over and over. It's always, you're always drawing a different card. And so your intuition is always getting a workout. Always getting a workout. Look at that, the call. She's reading a letter though. And look, it's at night, it's the stars, and what is she feeling as she's reading the letter? And what does that necklace symbolize? Right? Look at this. Nowhere else in any of my deck does this appear, Divine Madness. Okay, the last deck that I'm going to share with you is accurate but gentle. No, some of the decks that I've shown you, they're accurate, but sometimes the truth that they show is quite painful. And so it's, as a reader, I like I said, I'm not into the brutal honesty school of reading. I always want to be gentle and compassionate, but not losing honesty. Okay, I like this card because it's gentle, but it's also quite emotional in its truthfulness. And this is the Into the Lonely Woods. It's so awesome when used in retreats, because you kind of feel safe using it. It just very gently allows you to go in depth without shame or judgment. There's a children's book quality around the illustration. They're like little monsters, but they are depicted with so much gentleness and compassion. So when I want emotional accuracy, this is what I reach for. Or when dealing with someone who feels emotionally tender, right? Dealing with grief, with loss, with a difficult life transition. Okay. Because this also kind of forces me to use the most gentle language possible, right? Because it feels so compassionate. Little monsters are depicted, but when you look at them, you have compassion for them, right? Like you see beyond their appearance and you feel what they feel. And so, yes, for emotional accuracy and compassionate accuracy, yes, I would reach out for this deck. Okay. I think that's it. That is it so far. So let me know in the comment section down below what decks that you own help you with being accurate in your readings. I'd love to hear from you. Okay? I'll see you again soon. Bye.